34-31, the final score. Tennessee a winner at home coming out of the bye week over Arkansas. Again, 34-31, the final. Tennessee scored 24 consecutive points from a span of the second quarter into the fourth quarter. But two late touchdowns really kind of brought Arkansas back in this game to that 3-point deficit. Austin, I'll start with you. It was obviously not the cleanest, not the best looking game. There is a lot that went wrong. We'll be sure to point that out, obviously. But end of the day, you found a way to win. Tennessee found a way to win, and you're 5-1 heading into the third Saturday in October.
Much like a Mississippi State, they had opportunities to extend at different points in time. They finally extended and then kind of, I want to say, sat on it. They did. They kind of, I mean, the defense flashes hard at times, and then at other times is infuriatingly like just bad.
It's bad, yeah.
And so they've got to figure out a way. I don't know what adjustments they make to play more consistently. But again, it's hard to look at how they defended the run in the third quarter and really played defensively overall in the third quarter and wonder why they didn't play like that all night long. Like, where's the consistency at for this team? But much like at Mississippi State, they found a way to get a win. You survive, you advance. And when you look around college football at who all's losing and everything else, I mean, it could be worse. You could be Penn State. You could lose three in a row. The last two to UCLA and Northwestern. Northwestern today at home. You could be, I mean, look at what's going on right now at Georgia and Auburn. We'll see how that game ends. But I mean, you're going to have carnage across the league. Finding ways to win, especially at home, is a big deal. And on a night where you had 10 penalties and the road team had one.
It's wild, man. Matt, I mean, that's a good point. It was late in the third quarter before they threw that flag, right? For Arkansas, which is just mind-boggling. Found a way to win. Again, it wasn't pretty. This league, you and I were talking about this on the way back up to the press box. This league is just so, well, who's good? Who's good? We don't know. I think Alabama's pretty good. Obviously, we'll get into that as the week goes on. Georgia, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Arkansas is not one of the best teams in the conference, but offensively they can play. We talked about that for 2 weeks. Taylor Green can play, and at times defensively, you thought Tim Banks made some great adjustments coming out of the half, but they just got gashed, man. They just got gashed on the ground, and Mike Washington was right. I mean, what he said was factually correct at the time, and he backed up his words. There was a lot of holes in that defense tonight.
Yeah, there was, and credit Tim Banks for finding the ability to adjust coming out of the half there. I thought Tennessee's defense in the third quarter was about as good as you could have asked for. And then, like Austin said, they sat on it late and let Arkansas back in the game. But this is one of those games. I mean, look, Alabama was up a couple of scores on Missouri at one point, 1-3. We'll see what Georgia does here against Auburn. They're down 10-0 right now. If they get out of Jordan Hare with a 3-point win, they're going to be thrilled because that's what you do. That's what you're doing in this league right now. You're in an NFL stretch of games right now until the end of this thing. And I continue to question who's the team that's elite in this league right now. I think there's some very good teams.
Yeah.
How good are they? I think Alabama's a very good team. How good are they? Are they elite? They certainly flash it at times. Georgia, a very good team. Are they elite? They flash it at times. Same thing with Tennessee. Same thing with several of these teams. I mean, maybe it is Texas A&M right now. I don't know. I thought Oklahoma had a chance to be that.
Well, as we were talking about in the press box, I think it was Grant that told me, like, a guy with a broken thumb on his throwing hand played like a guy with a broken thumb on his throwing hand. I mean, what more did you think was going to happen?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, that just perplexes me, but go ahead.
Yeah, this is just that. I mean, this is just the way the league is right now. It's any given Saturday you can lose, and that's really across college football. I mean, you and I were talking about. You think Penn State would have been happy to get out of California last week with a 3-point win over UCLA? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that there's not issues, because there are issues. But Tennessee made the adjustments that they needed to. They found a way to win, and you're just in survival and advance mode.
We'll get to there's again. As I kind of put some notes on the board, just some instant reaction as soon as the game was over. And one of the things I said was, Austin, you say this all the time. Like, it's never as good as you think it is. It is always never as bad as you think it is. There were certainly some good things that happened in this game. We'll get to it, but staying on defense real quick, Austin. You come out in the second half, and the drive chart looks like this for Arkansas: fumble, turnover on downs, punt, fumble. And you're like, holy hell, man, it looks good. And then you end the game touchdown. It really just kind of throws some cold water on that second half for Tennessee. But still, you look at what Tennessee did defensively: 5 sacks, 9 TFLs. If there's ever been a definition of flash, it would be look up flash, and that's the Tennessee defense, because you give up, you give up, you give up, then you do this. And Tennessee forced turnovers tonight. How many? 3 or 4? The offense didn't cash in on any of them, which was frustrating. I don't know. This just is going to be what it is, even when they're getting healthy, Austin. I feel like they're going to give up a lot of yards, but they're still going to go out there and make some plays. And you hope that in a game like Alabama, the offense can take advantage of those takeaways more than what it did tonight.
Well, Tennessee's got to flash harder on offense. I mean, they flash on defense, and then again, we talked about infuriatingly bad. But they've got to flash harder on offense. They've got to finish drives. They have these pre-snap penalties. You can't do that stuff. Getting an ill-timed hands to the face, those type of things, just sit back drives. Tennessee can't do that next Saturday night. Alabama offensively can move the ball. They can score points. You're going to have to score points with them. And so I guess for me, like, the offense has to be more crisp. The offense has to be more succinct. If they do that, then I think this is a team that potentially go on the road and get a win. If not, they could easily get beat by 2 or 3 touchdowns. This is going to be one of those feast or famine type games, I'm afraid, next week, based off just how this team's playing. How does the defense play? How does the offense play? And then how healthy are they? Deshaun Bishop was phenomenal tonight. 14 carries, 146 score, and then got hurt. Tried to stretch it out. Was basically told he can't go the rest of the way. How long is he out? That's going to be a big question for me next week, because you go look on the road at Alabama. Star Thomas doesn't seem to be seeing it as well as he was early in the year, and Peyton Lewis is coming along. He's starting to see it a little better, but still, the guy that's making the most splash in the run game is Deshaun Bishop. Where they at with a couple other key injuries? Heading off, into this third Saturday in October next week.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully get a better picture, better gauge, into next week. But I mean, Sam Pendleton was in and out of the lineup. He came in with a bum ankle to begin with, right? And Braylon Staley walked off the field very gingerly. David Hobbs, who I thought flashed, I'd noticed him a lot today. It's like, who's that number 5 down there? Because again, he changed numbers. We hadn't seen him all year. I'm like, who's that number 5? Oh, that's Hobbs. Yeah, he looks good. He was, battered around a little bit. So yeah, I mean, you're right. This team's got to get healthy, no doubt. But I mean, Deshaun, I think I said it one time, before his injury, I'm like, they just had they had no answer for Deshaun Bishop. I mean, he was patient. For as bad as Tennessee's defense was getting gashed, I mean, obviously Arkansas's was just as bad. We knew that coming into it. Deshaun made him pay. He looked great. And to Austin's point, I thought Peyton Lewis looked really good. I think he's looking better. And I love watching Peyton Lewis run behind the 32 personnel with 3 tight ends on the field.
Yeah, I think Peyton Lewis is continuing to come along and has a chance to help this football team down the stretch. One of my favorite plays of the game was before the half, little speed draw to Deshaun Bishop. Mm-hmm. And man, he saw that play so well. Yeah. He set up the second and third level defender before he broke through the first level. I thought that was a really good run to kickstart that drive, and man, it was just a really good night for him. And a night that Tennessee needed to find some more identity running the football when you've got a top recruit in the country and David Gabriel George is in town. And that was one of the first things that he told me when I talked to him was, man, number 18 had a really good night.
Yeah, good to see Tennessee over getting back to normal, 221 yards on the ground.
Yeah, and they ran it when they needed to run it tonight. They were able to run it. I think that was a big thing for Tennessee tonight. They're late in that football game. That left side of the line behind Lance Hurd and Sham, through the first few weeks of the season, they've struggled a little bit at times when Tennessee needed to run behind them. But they ran behind them tonight and sealed this ball game. And I thought that was important to see.
Austin, I'm curious. David Sanders played some tonight. He was in and out. They were splitting time between him and Jesse Perry. Do you think it's because Perry is maybe not back to 100%? To Matt's point, you would think if everybody's ready to roll, let's get Sanders out there at right tackle, ship Perry inside to help with that run game. I was kind of confused on why, if everybody played, why didn't they roll with what they were going to do at the beginning of the season?
That's a great question. I do not know the answer to it.
And maybe it's as simple as, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But you got to force it.
Because they had they had prepared for so many different things. As Joey Aguilar told Brent
Yeah,
Hubbs in the
that's a good
post game
point.
afterwards, they prepared for 4 different offenses, throwing so much at a kid who hadn't played. Maybe that was more like, let's let him wade into the pool in the shallow end. I love to use that analogy, and so didn't want to throw him straight in the deep end. Maybe that. I don't know though.
That's a
I
good
don't know
point.
the answer.
That's a really good point. I thought that was kind of curious a little bit in that football game, but another right before the half, Deshaun Bishop gets a 32-yard gain or whatever, and then immediately you have that's the illegal procedure or whatever, and it's one of many pre-snap penalties that just killed Tennessee. Well, from your vantage point, Matt, you were down there. I mean, obviously you're playing at home. What was going on for Tennessee to have so many pre-snap penalties?
Man, honestly, I thought they got away with a couple too.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought Jesse Perry got away with a couple, and I'm not sure. I thought there were just times where they wanted to go really fast into what Arkansas was giving them, and they just went a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
There was one penalty that I missed from the field. I couldn't hear. It was loud, a lot of boos. I think it was on Lance Hurd, a 15-yard penalty. What was that call? I missed whatever that was.
Was that the hands of the face?
Okay, that makes more sense. I didn't know what that was. It just didn't make sense to me to kind of see that where that was. But I know Josh Heupel was not very happy watching him from there with the explanation that he got for a few of those penalties.
I'm surprised that's the only 15-yard penalty he got, because I thought he was going to kill a guy when they pushed Joey on the sideline. He didn't. But I saw big number 53 mosey on it. I was like, easy. That guy's going to get kicked out. But he held his water a little bit.
Yeah, it was a physical football game from that standpoint. When you're right, I thought Tennessee came back with a little bit more of an edge after that, and that's something that I think maybe got lost in this a little bit too. I thought Joey ran the football pretty timely a couple times.
I agree. Yeah, he ran the ball. He had 59 yards game, which is really solid for him. I don't know. Did he get sacked tonight? I don't even know if he got sacked.
I don't know that he did.
I don't have no. He did not get sacked tonight. Yeah, so he had 59 yards gained. I like the ability late in that football game, even when he got the breath knocked out of him a little bit. That's a 3-point game. You can't play scared, right? And I know a lot of people are saying it's too conservative there at the end and all that, but I love the fact they were calling his number there at the end, because he can impact games with his legs. We got to go. I will say this, I thought it was interesting, Austin. 1 reception, 5 yards, Chris Brazzell. I think Tennessee's players and Joey Aguilar kind of made it a mention that they were trying to kind of double cover him at times, try to take Brazzell out of the game. So you take Brazzell out of the game, and Braylon Staley, 109 yards over the middle. I mean, Deshaun Bishop was open for days. Braylon Staley over the middle was open for days. I thought it was good to see Tennessee pick up the pace a little bit and to find ways to get the ball to Mike Matthews. He only had 3 receptions, but they got him a touch on an end around and was forcing the football to Miles Kitselman. I thought some other guys really stepped up nicely.
Yeah, I mean, great game for Braylon Staley. Great game for Miles Kitselman, and they were solid in the passing game tonight. They weren't clicking on all cylinders. They did take Brazzell away. He had the 1 catch for 5 yards.
Should have had a touchdown.
Yeah, he did. That was a good throw by Joey. He just dropped it, and that's okay. That happens. That's It's a tough catch. Should he have caught it? Yes, but it's still a tough catch. But yeah, you like where this team is still statistically throwing the football. I mean, go for 221 through the air, and on a night where they're able to run it effectively, and just they got to get things going next week. I think Alabama, there will be some opportunities to move the ball through the air. Just continue to progress and get Brazzell going again next week. But that's going to be a tough game. I do worry about the health of this football team.
Yeah.
Especially offensively, the receivers. You're already down Travis Smith. You're down Rodarius Jackson, who's probably at least 2 weeks away from coming back. Kentucky, maybe at the earliest, if not Oklahoma. After he broke the collarbone,
and I know they went 12 personnel and everything, but if they needed another outside receiver, it was going to be Trey Weary, right? I mean,
or Deshaun Brame. I think a lot of it depends on they've repped Brame a lot in with some receiver stuff, but when push comes to shove, are they going to shove him out there, or are they going to just go with Trey Weary? I just don't think they'll ever get to that point. I think it'll just be they'll run a lot of 12 personnel with Van Dorslayer and Kitselman and roll.
But I mean, this is kind of what we talked about, right? It's like you're a couple of rolled ankles away, or in this case, a knee, ankle, whatever, hamstring, whatever it is, and a collarbone, and the numbers are thin. And you're going to Alabama next week, and you're like, oh, well, that's not great because Braylon Staley came out at the end. So anyway, to your point, health wise, need to be healthy. Need to clean some things out defensively, but no matter what, should be an exciting one. Tennessee at Alabama next week, third Saturday in October. We'll have Tim Watts on the Rocky Top Rewind tomorrow night.
Do we have to?
We do. We'll have Tim Watts on. He's going to break down Alabama's side of things to this rivalry. And, loads of reaction coming up on the sites all day tonight, all nights through the night. And, of course, tomorrow as Tennessee takes down Arkansas 34-31. For Austin Price, Matt Ray, I am Eric Kane. Thanks so much for joining us here from Neyland Stadium. 34-31, Tennessee a winner.